अस्सलाम वालेकुम नाजरीन, आप देख रहे हैं प्रोग्राम एक्सपर्ट एडवाइस और मैं हूं आपका होस्ट शकील अहमद। नाजरीन, स्कैंडिनेवियन कंट्रीज़ दुनिया के वो ममालिक हैं जहां पर स्टैंडर्ड ऑफ लाइफ बहुत बेहतरीन समझा जाता है। स्वीडन इन स्कैंडिनेवियन कंट्रीज़ का एक हिस्सा, एक रुकन मुल्क है। पाकिस्तान से भी बहुत सारे नौजवान, बहुत सारे स्टूडेंट स्वीडन में स्टडीज़ के लिए जाते हैं, अपनी हायर एजुकेशन के लिए जाते हैं। इसके साथ साथ अगर स्वीडन की बात करें तो करंट कोविड-19 की सिचुएशन को देखते हुए पूरी दुनिया का मीडिया ये कह रहा है कि स्वीडन वाहिद मुल्क है जिसने लॉकडाउन के ऊपर कम्प्लीटली एक्ट नहीं किया और स्वीडन ने मुकम्मल तौर पर अपने मुल्क के अंदर लॉकडाउन नहीं किया। तो आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे कि अगर स्वीडन के अंदर मुकम्मल तौर पर लॉकडाउन नहीं है तो गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से क्या इनिशिएटिव्स लिए गए हैं जिनकी वजह से वहाँ के रिहायशियों की, वहाँ के सिटीजन्स को कोरोना से महफूज रखा जाए। इसके साथ साथ हम बात करेंगे कि पाकिस्तानी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए स्वीडन में स्टडी ऑप्शंस क्या हैं और ख़ास तौर पे जिन स्टूडेंट्स ने, जिन तालिब इल्मों ने अभी स्वीडन के लिए अप्लाई किया हुआ है तो उनका प्रोसेस अब आगे किस तरीके से चलेगा। तो आज हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं स्वीडन से तेरेसे वेंडर जो लिंकशॉपिंग यूनिवर्सिटी की रिप्रेजेंटेटिव हैं। Therese, thank you very much for joining us here from Sweden, and we are really thankful that you have given us a time to discuss about the current situation in Sweden and alongside and insight about your university as well. We are thankful once again. So please tell us something about yes, player. Please tell us something about the current situation that's going on there in Sweden with respect to COVID-19, please.
Well, it's similar to the rest of the world. We're also affected. Sweden has taken a slightly different approach to many of the European countries in the sense that we haven't closed down our society completely. Our universities, however, have gone into distance mode, which means that we are conducting the education, but via digital means. So it's the same quality of education, the same learning objectives, but it's done in a very modern way, digitally and via various online tools.
Therese, you have mentioned a very important and a critical point because on media we can even see that Sweden has not observed completely the lockdown as the rest of the world is observing. So what is the strategy behind it? Tell us something about your country's strategy, that why they haven't closed everything there as the rest of the world is taking initiative, but you have got a different approach. So what are the results of this approach and why this has been taken there?
I think we have recommendations from our central health authority, and I think Sweden as a society tend to take these recommendations very seriously. I think sometimes when I read international news, I get the picture that life is going on as normal in Sweden, and it's not. We have restrictions, but I think we are focusing on protecting the over 70, the elderly population, and I also believe that we are taking a long-term view on this disease. Keeping a country in lockdown is possible for a short period of time, is what our health experts believe, and instead we are going for an approachable a kind of a long-term approach to the disease. So we have restrictions. We have social distancing in place. A lot of people are working from home. Shops have reduced hours. You don't see as many people out and about. But yes, the schools are still open for younger children. And I think the authorities believe that closing the schools, which means a lot of people would be at home, because in Sweden you have 2 working parents pretty much all the time, and it would mean a lot of essential health workers would have to stay at home to look after their children. So the decision we have made has been based on Swedish circumstances and the fact that we are also very spread out. There's 10 million people in quite a large country.
That's really great. That's great to hear about that, why you guys have not observed complete lockdown there in Sweden. Coming back to here, I'll be asking the connecting questions with respect to the response that you have just told us about. What are the different safety measures, are the precautionary measures that are being taken by Swedish government for the people to just make them avoid of infections of this COVID-19?
Sorry, can you repeat the last end of the question?
My question is then, what are the different safety measures are taken by the government to just make sure the citizens are safe from this COVID-19 then, if the lockdown is not being observed there?
Well, the safety measures, it's, for example, there's a maximum of 50 people in any gathering, which means, you know, a lot of kind of cinemas and nightclubs and places like that have closed down. In the shops and in the supermarkets, you can see kind of stickers on the floor asking people to observe the distance between people, so 1.5 to 2 meters. I think those are the measures, and we're constantly, every day at 2 o'clock, our central health authority has a live press conference. And a lot of people actually watch this, and we are constantly being told, wash your hands, stay at home if you're ill. And I think Swedes as a society, we tend to listen to our authorities. I mean, we trust our authorities, that there's been, you know, a long period of stability in this country. You know, there hasn't been a war, for example, for close to 200 years. So our authorities, when they do say something, especially in terms of health, we tend to listen. So people wash their hands. You can see that has worked, in that the regular influenza and also the kind of the winter stomach bugs that usually circulate during the winter, as of mid-March, those decreased massively, which shows that people are staying at home when they're ill. It shows that people are washing their hands a lot more often. So I think there are measures being taken.
That's really great. That's great that you're mentioning the responsibility by the citizens is keenly observed, and the instructions given by the government are keenly observed and followed by the citizens, and this is a good practice to just avoid them from the current pandemic. Moving ahead, specifically as you're representing Linköping University in Sweden, so tell us the different facilities or the initiatives that are being currently taken individually by university for the students who are currently studying there at your campus.
Well, we have, as I said before, we have gone into distance mode. So the students who are currently studying here are receiving all their tuition online. We do have facilities for those students who are still here. I know a lot of students have actually gone home to their countries, but they can still take part in their education. For the students who are here, the library is still open, for example, and limited hours, but still open. And a lot of the library resources are online. I mean, Sweden is one of the most digitalized countries in the world.
Right.
So a lot of our resources are already online.
That's really great. This was a story about that students have completely be on a digital mode to study. They have been online to study. I'm sure they will be in continuous contact to the instructors, to the teachers, to the academic staff, and alongside the management staff of the university as well. But apart from this, if we talk about the initiatives taken with respect to the health, with respect to the food, or with respect to their accommodations, what are they that you guys are just, or you guys have just taken, keeping in view the current situation for the students?
Well, we have an international office, and they communicate regularly. So they update the student body on the international student body on what's going on. In terms of health, we do have health counselors on campus that students can talk to. And students who are here and are fee-paying students, they are covered by the Swedish government health insurance. That's included in the fee. So if they do get ill, they're able to access free healthcare in this country. Right. So it's and in terms of food, there are closures on campus, but a lot of the supermarkets are still open. A lot of restaurants are doing delivery. They do takeaway. They have really good deals on takeaway at the moment. So I think people they're okay. And people go for, we have a lot of green areas around close to campus and around the areas where the students live. And students are able to take daily walks in the forests or in the woods. And I think that helps them with the mental health aspect.
This is fantastic to listen about that you guys are providing the nearby walk area alongside the food facilities, accommodations, and most importantly the consultant there are in campus. If somebody wants to consult them, they can come across and they can directly meet them as well. These are the fantastic steps taken by the university. I must appreciate. But the whole world is observing the lockdown, and the students, of course, they are not going to their universities, even not studying in their respective countries' institutions. So as we know that in Sweden there is only one intake, the major intake, that is the September intake. So what about your plannings for the September? As most of the universities in the world, they are thinking to go online for coming September intake. Is the same with Linköping University there?
No, we're planning, currently we're planning for a resumption of normal business as of the 17th of August. But we're also making contingency plans to be able to take it all online. So currently we are proceeding as if it'll be close to normal by August, but there are definitely plans to take it online if necessary. It's basically what the authorities tell us to do, we will follow.
Therese, this was a discussion about the current situation the whole world is just facing. Now coming back to, as you're representing Linköping University in Sweden, please tell us in brief about the university.
Okay, the university is about just over 40 years old, so it's a relatively young university. We have campuses in both Linköping and a nearby town called Norrköping, which is about 40 kilometers north of Linköping. Right. In total, there is about 27,000 students. So it places us, I think it's one of the I think it's the fifth or seventh largest in Sweden. The train will take you to Stockholm in about an hour and 40 minutes. It's a full faculty university with research groups, and we have 28 master's programs and one bachelor program taught in English, fully taught in English. We have many more programs in Swedish, of course. Yeah, that's the kind of the brief overview.
Great. So what about the different program options, as you are connected with us for Pakistani students? So please tell us the popular, the hot, or the famous courses for Pakistani community you want to discuss with us, please.
Yes, many students from Pakistan choose to come here to study engineering. We offer some of our more popular programs is mechanical engineering, aeronautical engineering, industrial engineering, industrial and management, which is an area that we pioneered here in Linköping, which was combining management and engineering. And that was kind of this cross-discipline was quite new when it was established in the 70s. But it's mainly those areas. We also have, in terms of the Faculty of Arts and Sciences, we have Business Administration, which is very popular, International and European Relations, which is also unique in that it looks at international relations and European relations and in that context. Okay. So we have a couple of new programs in Linköping, which is ethnic and migration studies, computational social science, and then we have the kind of more regular programs such as computer science. But we have statistics and machine learning is also quite a...
That's really great. I mean, what I came across to know about your discussion with respect to programs, so if I could say this is a one-stop solution, so that won't be a wrong one.
Yeah, we have, it's broad. We have a broad offering. So as I said, it's 28 different programs.
That's great. As far as I know, that a lot of different Pakistani students are really interested to study in Sweden. Sweden has been one of the popular destinations for Pakistani students to study there. So please tell us about the eligibility criteria in generic for undergraduate programs and the postgraduate program that are being offered there at Linköping University.
Well, the general requirements is English requirement, certain level. For engineering programs, you need to have studied you need to have a 4-year undergraduate program. And I think then you have to look at the actual programs because they have very specific requirements, and those are important that the students meet. But as I say, a good level of English, very high level of English, and the right bachelor for the masters, because for us the masters is a continuation of the bachelor program. So you can't study business administration, for example, and then decide to do a master's in mechanical engineering. You need to go from an engineering degree to an engineering program, master's program. There are a handful, 2 or 3, usually on the more of the kind of arts and sciences side, where it doesn't really matter your background, for example, applied ethics. But in general, you need to have the right background for the program, the same kind of background.
That's really great. And moving ahead, tell us something about the general expenses that student has to bear there with respect to their tuition fee and alongside the living cost if somebody goes there at for Linköping University.
The tuition fees range from between around 8,000 euros per year, and most programs are 2 years, to about 14,000 for the more expensive ones. The engineering ones are usually in the 12 to 13,000 euros range, whereas some of the arts and sciences are more 8 to 9,000 euros. The students also need to have 8,000 euros for the year in their account to be eligible for the residence permit, and that's 8,000 euros, which is supposed to last for the entire year. So if you look at that over 10 months, you need about 800 euros per month, and that's the requirement from the Swedish Migration Agency.
That's really great. As you know, the whole world economically is facing the crisis, not only the countries, individual cities and universities even, but keeping in view the economic crisis situation in mind, are there some sort of initiatives that are under consideration for international students to facilitate them with maximum percentage of scholarship as well?
There are currently no plans. We do usually have some scholarships offered every year. Those scholarships are offered to students who apply on time, which is before 15th of January, and also select the program at Linköping as their first priority at universityadmissions.se. But usually those scholarships are between 50 and 75% of the tuition fee. So they're tuition fee waivers.
It's a huge scholarship, I must say. 50 to 75% is encouraging scholarship for international students. But if they choose Linköping University as the first priority while applying for admissions for Sweden universities,
yes, then they will be eligible to apply for the scholarship.
All right. So one of the important questions with respect to the eligibility criteria for the different kinds of programs here is English proficiency is one of the factors for the students. So what do you need? IELTS and TOEFL are the mandatory for every kind of program that is being offered for international students, or there is some sort of a waiver for it as well?
No, it is mandatory, IELTS or TOEFL. IELTS is 6.5 with no section below 5.5, and the TOEFL is 90 in the online. But I have to stress the importance of being able to participate in English, to be able to write in English. There's a lot of reports being written in the programs, and you need to be able to follow what the lecturers are saying, what your fellow students are saying, and then to be able to put that down in writing. So a high level of English proficiency is very, very important.
That's really great. As you have mentioned that once, all the staff or most of the staff is available for students' help there at your university. So what about the different feedbacks in the current situation taken by the university staff from different students, how they are feeling about, what about their, feedback? Is there any kind of problem, or you can say the different obstacles they are facing at the moment, keeping in view the situation that's going on?
I think the students are facing similar problems to a lot of people here, really, who are spending a lot of time at home. I think it's sometimes you have to motivate yourself more, but I think the lectures are still scheduled, so you still participate, you just go online instead. And currently a lot of students they're finishing up. We're approaching May anyway, and usually by end of May most classes are finished for the semester. So a lot of people are working on, if they're not doing thesis in the second year, then in the first year they're probably looking at approaching companies for their thesis project for next year.
What about the students? A lot of different students, they have earlier applied for studying in Sweden through the admission portal, or you can say the application portal. They already have done it. So what about the different responses by the university? Have you observed any delay by the management to respond back with respect to their admission offer letter, or even you can say the scholarships or the visa in future?
As in terms of the application, no, that was published online on the 3rd of April. So every applicant should be able to log into their university admissions account and see the status of their application. That was not delayed. The scholarship application was open for a few days, and that closed on the 6th of April. And the results, the successful candidates, were published online on our website 2 days ago, I believe it was. So again, that has not been delayed. Applying for a visa, it's different process, and it's not a process that we are part of at all at the university. The students apply for their visa through the migration agency. And the deadline of 1st of June to pay the fees is because the migration agency won't start processing the application until they've seen that the first installment has been paid, as that shows intent to study. So the deadline of 1st of June is still there, but then there might be delays because of embassies, but that would be outside of our control.
All right. So you have mentioned if somebody has paid the fee, so tell us something about this status as well. If somebody has paid the fee and don't want to proceed ahead, keeping in view the situation for Sweden, so would that fee be refunded accordingly by university to the students then?
Yeah, we will have a very generous refund policy this year. So students who apply for a refund before the 17th of August will be considered. After that, there will need to be special circumstances, and it will have to be on an individual reviewed on an individual basis. But there will be a very generous policy this year before the 17th of August.
All right. So if we talk about if the September intake for any case is not resumed by university in person on campuses, so would it be a possibility for the students who have already got admissions from your university to defer their course for the next year or the next coming intake?
No, deferment is only in very, very exceptional circumstances, such as pregnancy, military service. It is not, we don't take that into account for just financial circumstances. I'm afraid they would then have to rescind their place and reapply for the next intake.
That's really great. As you're mentioning that the deferment is not confirmed or not, you can say it's common for the next or for next year. But if somebody don't want to continue the semester, then university has to refund back the fee to the applicants or the candidates. Or if he is still interested to apply for the next semester, he has to undergo himself or themselves for another application procedure as regularly they applied previously.
Yes, they can withdraw before the 17th of August and apply for a refund before then if they change their mind. But if they want to defer, that will only be taken into consideration if they have special circumstances. It could also be medical circumstances, but you would then need a doctor's note for that. But after the 17th of August, if they still want to withdraw and receive a refund, then it will depend on the circumstances, but it will not be as generous as before 17th of August.
All right. So, this 17th of August is a regular date that you guys were observing once the situation was not like this. But do you expect this date may get extended due to the current situation?
No. This date is a new date. Normally, we don't really offer refunds unless in exceptional circumstances. However, this year we've decided to have a more generous policy. So the 17th of August is so that by then we will know if we will go ahead as usual with on-campus tuition or if we're going to go online.
Yeah, this is a great message for Pakistani students because this date is just announced for this year, keeping in view the situation. So if anybody don't want to proceed ahead for the September intake at Linköping University, so they may request to the university for a refund of their fee before 17th of August.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Tell us something about, because here in Pakistan, students have got the different options to study for the rest of the destinations around the globe as well. But why one need to, give priority to Sweden? Why one need to study there in Sweden, please?
We offer a very high level of education. In terms, and globally, our education system a few years ago was rated second best in the world. I think when you come here and you do a 2 years master's, it's very comprehensive. It's very, a lot of students have said they learnt a lot. We also take a very kind of holistic approach where we focus on teamwork. So the students work together in teams, they do projects. This prepares them really well for working life when you actually do work a lot with other people and in teams. They are also able to do a thesis project. Well, everybody has to do a thesis project for the final semester, but they are able to do that out in industry if they find a partner. And this, again, it's a bit of a, it's opening doors to contacts within industry, but it's also given them a real taste for what it's like in working life. But Swedish education, it's also very We are encouraged to question. We don't really have the hierarchy that you have in a lot of countries. So the teacher is there to teach the students, but to guide them and to encourage discussion. So we educate free thinkers, people who can think for themselves, which you can see in that Sweden has, it's very highly rated in terms of entrepreneurship, where Stockholm is sometimes seen as Europe's Silicon Valley with a lot of especially tech startups. So this kind of environment promotes that curiosity, it promotes cooperation. Students learn to cooperate rather than see each other as just competitors. And I think that's an important part.
That's great, and very important points that you have mentioned, that why one need to study there in Sweden. Last question, moving ahead. Tell us about the work opportunity for the students who make Sweden as a destination for their studies, and what about after completing their education? Are they allowed to apply for future permanent residency or something like this? So tell us brief about this as well.
No, they're allowed to look for a job. They're allowed to stay for, I believe it's a year now, to find a permanent job. If they find a permanent job, that employer will sponsor them for a temporary residency. And then you have to have lived in Sweden for a number of years before you're able to apply for that to become permanent. But the most important thing is that they need to have a job, so they can spend a year finding a job, and if they are unsuccessful, I'm afraid that the visa won't be renewed.
That's great. As you have mentioned, the students can go for different kinds of job while they are studying on campus, and after completing their education, they would definitely get 1 year to just find a job in the industry. So once they are connected with the job, they may stay there for a very long time.
I think I just need to clarify, it's the year after studies that they have to apply for a job. Whilst they're allowed to work during their studies, it's not recommended. I mean, some students spend a couple of hours a week maybe delivering newspapers, for example, but it is not. Students shouldn't expect to be able to support themselves through part-time work during their studies.
Yeah, that's clear, because once the students are going over there for the studying purposes, so job is not the priority for them. Yes, after completing the education, they have a bright chance to get into job and getting future residence or something like that. That is another story that we are not concerned about. Now coming back to if you have got any message for Pakistani students, if you want to say something to Pakistani students, please go ahead.
I think an education in Sweden will open your mind, really expand your mind. It will make you a valuable co-worker in the future. You will learn how to work with a different range of people, international students, men, women. You have your lecturers and teachers. You end up with a good relationship, which I think will stand them in good stead when dealing with future bosses, for example. And I think Linköping is, it's a clean break, if you know what I mean. Playing on words, it's a smaller town. It's about 150,000 people, and there's lots of nature nearby, and a lot of students who come from bigger cities, they remark on the tranquility and how peaceful it is, and the students cycle everywhere. We don't have issues with pollution, so I think they will leave here with a really good academic grounding, but I think also a peaceful soul in the sense that they will get to take a step out of the rat race of many global megacities.
Therese, we are really very thankful. We are much obliged that you have given us a time and you comprehensively discussed about studying option and the current situation there in Sweden. We are much thankful. Stay blessed. Take care of yourself. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
जी तो नाज़रीन, आपने प्रोग्राम देखा जिसमें टेरिज़े का कहना था कि سویڈن کے اندر جہاں پر لاک ڈاؤن کمپلیٹلی آبزرو نہیں ہو رہا، لیکن گورنمنٹ کی طرف سے ایسے انیشیٹوز لیے گئے ہیں تاکہ وہ اپنے سٹیزنز کو زیادہ سے زیادہ محفوظ رکھ سکیں۔ اس کے ساتھ ساتھ انہوں نے لنک شاپنگ یونیورسٹی کے بارے میں ڈیٹیل سے ہمیں آگاہ کیا۔ امید ہے آپ کو پروگرام پسند آیا ہوگا، اپنے فیڈ بیک سے ضرور آگاہ کیجیے گا۔ کل حاضر ہوں گے ایک نئے ایکسپرٹ ایڈوائس کے ساتھ، تب تک کے لیے اجازت دیجیے، اللہ حافظ۔